Welcome back to Grand Junction, Colorado, in this month's edition of the RMAC Showcase. The Colorado Mesa softball team was the cream of the crop for most of the season. At one point, they were ranked #1 in the country for 7 straight weeks, and they only lost 3 games during the regular season. Phil Santucci returns once more with all the action from the conference tournament.
What a perfect day for some softball in Grand Junction at Colorado Mesa University, where the top-seeded Mavericks matched up against a Colorado Christian squad who won on a late-inning homer in the semis against Regis just to get here. The Mesa bats were clicking right from the get-go in this RMAC championship game. Alexandria Dufour can pay testament to that as she smokes one to the right center gap for the easy triple, really setting the tone for Colorado Mesa. Then that triple is nearly followed up by an opposite field dinger if it weren't for the great play from the Cougars right fielder Shelby Day, who brings it back over the fence. The run did score for Mesa, however, and they take the lead 1-0. But then the bats just erupted for Mesa from there. Kayla Jacoby goes deep here to left on a ball that seemed to stay in the yard for maybe a second. Then Kayla's teammate Zoe Pakes tries to match that with a bomb to left of her own, and that adds to the Mavericks' lead again. And this offense is really starting to look scary. But now down 7-0 at this point, Christian finally gets the bats going just a bit. Alex Garlock nearly leaves the yard here, which would put 2 runners on for Jenny Winston after the ball smashes off the fence. But even though it was a good threat, all the Cougs could manage out of that was a sac fly to left that would score 1 run and narrow the gap to 7-1. And that threat was really all Mesa had to deal with for most of the day, and led by some really good pitching from Kimbrey Herring, and of course the big bats that the Cougars showed off today. Colorado Mesa wins the RMAC title game with a final of 8-2.
I mean, this season has been so special, but it's definitely because of the girls that are on the team. 1 through 18, this is an amazing team, great group of girls. They just put so much hard work in this year, off season, all the way till now. We just don't stop working, and I think that's amazing to see. I'm a very competitive person, and this is a very competitive team, so it's just become such a great year, especially for my senior year.
We think that we can play for a national title. We've got to prove that. We understand that, but we're ready for the challenge.
Both Mesa and Colorado Christian advanced to the regional tournament. The Mavericks got to host that as well. They won their first game, now taking on Texas A&M Commerce. First inning, Kayla Jacoby comes through with a big base hit that gets past the outfielder all the way to the wall, allowing 2 Mavs to score, and the home team has an early 2-0 lead. Third inning, Mesa up 2-1, but not for long, as Kinsey Hebler has the bases loaded and promptly unloads them with a grand slam to right center field. It's actually her second home run in the game as the Lions lead 5-2. It doesn't get much better in the fourth as Commerce has the bases loaded again. This time it's Bailey Higgs who clears them with a 3-run triple as the Lions would eventually push their lead to 12-2. Colorado Mesa did show some life in the fifth as they scored 3 times, helped by this opposite field home run from Kelly Mramsva as the top-seeded team in the tournament is down 12-6. But that was as close as they got as Texas A&M Commerce pulls off the huge upset, topping Mesa 14-7. So that sent the Mavericks into the losers bracket, and they would see their season come to an end in the very next game as Mesa just never recovered, dropping their final game of the year to Tarleton State 6-3. Colorado Mesa ends the season with a 48-5 overall record, and they broke conference records for consecutive wins with their 37 to start the season, as well as team batting average, hits, runs, and doubles. As I mentioned earlier, Colorado Christian also earned a spot in the regional tournament. They had to travel to Texas for their portion, and the Cougars dropped their first game of the tournament to Angelo State 8-2. Their season came to an end in the very next game as they dropped a close one against Cameron University 4-3. The Cougars put together the best season in school history, ending with a 43-15 overall record. Back in Colorado's state capital, the women's lacrosse tournament had 2 very familiar teams finish at the top as national powers Lindenwood and Regis both finished in the top 10 in the country, while Regis was the home site for this year's conference tourney. It would be Regis and Lindenwood advancing to the conference title game. The first half ended with both teams scoring 5 times, so to the second half, Regis would strike first and take their first lead of the game 6-5 thanks to a goal from Sarah Myers. But then the number 1 team in the country would respond in a big way, scoring 10 of the next 11 goals and pulling out to a 15-7 lead. And they never looked back as Lindenwood wins yet another RMAC tournament title, this one by a final of 19-14. Cassie Stuckland and Sophie Balo each scored 4 times for the Lions, while Myers scored 4 times for Regis in the title tilt.
And really showed senior leadership, and just proud of the way our entire team played. Today was a team effort, and we're playing to the final whistle blew, and we're just glad to get out of here with a conference championship, and it's something that we take a lot of pride in winning.
Coach gave us a game plan, and we just stuck to it and did what we were supposed to do and executed off of it.
So both Regis and Lindenwood would advance to the national tournament. The Rangers would face the University of Indianapolis in the first round, and it was all about Regis as they sprint past the Greyhounds 21-6 to advance to the quarterfinals and get some revenge for a loss earlier in the season. There, they would once again meet Lindenwood, but this time it's Regis who would come out on top, handing the Lions their first loss of the year, earning the 15-14 double overtime victory, and the Rangers' first ever trip to the Final Four as they avenged 2 losses they had in the regular season there. But that's where their season would come to an end, as the Rangers can't get anything going against Lemoyne and drop an 18-1 contest against the Dolphins and see their season come to an end with a 17-5 overall record. All 5 of those losses came against nationally ranked competition. We've hit halftime on this edition of the RMAC Showcase. When we come back, we'll run, jump, and volley with some of the top athletes in the country. Don't go anywhere.